Welcome. Today is Sunday, January 6th, 2019. Here's what's what. A survey of private wells in southwestern Wisconsin found almost half had unsafe contamination levels. Researchers randomly selected 301 wells for testing in Iowa, Grant, and Lafayette counties in November. 42% of the wells exceeded standards for bacteria or nitrate, a compound linked to a variety of health problems. 34% tested positive for coliform bacteria. Coliform is not an illness-causing bacteria on its own. It's an indication that there could be other things in the water. 4% of the wells had E. coli, a bacteria that can cause illness. 16% of the wells had nitrate levels above the state standard of 10 parts per million. There are more than 10,800 private wells in the region. The sampling is part of a 2-year study on groundwater quality. If the presence of the bacteria is confirmed, residents should stop drinking their water until they have their well disinfected. The results of the survey weren't surprising. Previous sampling indicated similar trends in bacteria and nitrate levels. The region's soil and bedrock makes the groundwater susceptible to contamination. Another round of well sampling will take place in the spring. A Japanese sushi entrepreneur paid a record $3.1 million for a giant tuna Saturday as Tokyo's new fish market, which replaced the world-famous Tsukiji late last year, held its first pre-dawn New Year's auction. Bidding stopped at a whopping 333.6 million yen for the enormous 612-pound fish. A sushi restaurant chain owner paid the top price, which doubled the previous record of 155 million yen, also paid by him in 2013. Tsukiji, the world's biggest fish market and a popular tourist attraction in an area packed with restaurants and shops, moved in October to Toyosu. Opened in 1935, Tsukiji was best known for its pre-dawn daily auctions of tuna caught from all corners of the world for use by everyone from top Michelin star chefs to ordinary grocery stores. Especially at the first auction of the new year, wholesalers and sushi tycoons have been known to pay eye-watering prices for the biggest and best fish. Despite the relocation, the auction ritual remained intact. Researchers at MIT and Arizona State University have designed a computer program that allows users to translate any free-form drawing into a 2-dimensional, nanoscale structure made of DNA. Until now, designing such structures has required technical expertise that puts the process out of reach of most people. Using the new program, anyone can create a DNA nanostructure of any shape for application in cell biology, photonics, and quantum sensing and computing, among many others. This work will allow everyone to draw any 2D shape and convert it into DNA origami automatically. DNA origami, the science of folding DNA into tiny structures, originated in the early 1980s. The shape can also be sketched in any computer drawing program and then converted into a computer-aided design file, which is fed into the DNA design program. Once you have that file, everything's automatic, much like printing, but here the ink is DNA. After the sequences are generated, the user can order them to easily fabricate the specified shape. The corresponding software tool is available online. The shapes, which range from 10 to 100 nanometers in size, can remain stable for weeks or months, suspended in a buffer solution. Turning to birthdays for today, January 6th. Rowan Atkinson turns 64. Rowan is an English actor, comedian, and screenwriter, best known for his work on the sitcoms Blackadder and Mr. Bean. Atkinson was listed in The Observer as one of the 50 funniest actors in British comedy and among the top 50 comedians ever. Julie Chen is 49. Julie is an American television personality, news anchor, and producer for CBS. She has been the host of the reality television program Big Brother since its debut in July 2000. Julie is married to former President and Chief Executive Officer of CBS Television, Les Moonves. Howie Long is 59 today. Howie is an American former National Football League defensive end, actor, and current sports analyst. He played in the NFL for 13 seasons and spent his entire career with the Raiders franchise. He is also the author of Football for Dummies. Another airline is working with public officials on an investigation into whether its food or beverages have made passengers sick. This time, it's Frontier Airlines and company officials have suggested a water fountain at the Cleveland airport could be responsible for reported illnesses. City officials, however, say the water is not likely behind the illnesses. As a precaution, though, officials at Cleveland Hopkins International Airport immediately closed and sanitized all of the water fountains of Concourse A. Waterborne illnesses generally have a longer incubation period than what was seen in this instance. Also, Cleveland Water has no known water safety issues in the vicinity of the airport, but is collecting additional street-level samples to verify. Airport staff and Cleveland Department of Public Health are testing fountains and will send water samples to an external Ohio EPA certified lab for evaluation. Frontier Airlines notified airport officials on New Year's Day that some passengers had reported becoming sick on a flight from Cleveland to Tampa. As of Wednesday, 6 passengers had reported illnesses. Anyone who was on a Frontier flight from Cleveland to Tampa on January 1st and became ill is asked to contact the Cleveland Health Department. Outbreak investigators are interviewing the Frontier passengers in an attempt to determine whether they all drank from the same water fountain or had food or beverages from any other common source in the airport. The public health officials are also asking the passengers about their activities before arriving at the airport. City officials reported more than 11,000 passengers traveled through the airport on New Year's Day. In the past 2 years, food safety issues hit airports in Denver, Los Angeles, and Newark, New Jersey. They involve Delta, United, American, and Virgin Australia Airlines. Except for the Newark incident in August 2018, when listeria was found in a United Airlines kitchen cooler, the other problems were related to the Gate Gourmet catering company. In November of 2017, Gate Gourmet found listeria in its Los Angeles kitchen at LAX Airport, and several airlines including American, Delta, and Virgin Australia suspended their use of the air catering service until the problem could be resolved. The Food and Drug Administration documented problems with the Gate Gourmet Inc. airline catering facility in Kentucky. In a March 2018 warning letter, the agency reported the Kentucky site has been downgraded from approval to provisional. The warning letter cited numerous violations, including evidence of cockroach infestation, standing water, and buildup of dirt and food debris on equipment and throughout the plant. What happened on this date? January 6th. In 1066, Harold II is crowned King of England. Following the death of Edward the Confessor, Harold Godwinson, head of the most powerful noble family in England, is crowned King Harold II. In 1919, Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States, dies at his estate overlooking New York's Long Island Sound. In 1963, Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom with Marlin Perkins begins on NBC. The educational series, centering on the lives of animals, ran from 1963 to 1971. In 1994, after a practice session in Detroit, Michigan, figure skater Nancy Kerrigan was clubbed on the knee with a police baton by an assailant hired by the ex-husband of her rival, Tonya Harding. Police suspect a man arrested for driving into pedestrians in Tokyo's Harajuku district on New Year's Day had planned to set fire to Meiji Shrine. Police found that the suspect had modified a high-pressure water sprayer to squirt kerosene to start a fire. The police arrested the 21-year-old on New Year's Day on suspicion of attempted murder after he rammed his car into pedestrians in Shibuya Ward. The 9 people injured included a 19-year-old student who is listed in critical condition. The suspect earlier told investigators that he had planned to disperse kerosene with a high-pressure water sprayer before carrying out the car attack. The investigators later found an ignition tool was attached to the tip of the nozzle. The police quote the suspect as saying that he tried to spray kerosene on Meiji Shrine to set it on fire but accidentally sprayed fuel on himself. Security camera footage shows the suspect ripping off his kerosene-soaked jacket and fleeing the scene. Recurrent miscarriage affects around 1 in 50 couples in the UK and is defined as the consecutive loss of 3 or more pregnancies before 20 weeks. Until recently, recurrent miscarriage was thought to be caused by health issues with the mother, such as infection or immune problems. However, doctors are now realizing sperm health plays a role. Traditionally, doctors have focused attention on women when looking for the causes of recurrent miscarriage. The men's health and the health of their sperm was never analyzed. However, this research adds to a growing body of evidence that suggests men's sperm health dictates the health of the pregnancy. The team analyzed the sperm of 50 men who were patients at a miscarriage clinic in London. They then compared the results to the sperm health of 60 male volunteers whose partners had not suffered miscarriage. The analysis revealed the men with partners who had suffered recurrent miscarriage had twice as much DNA damage compared to the control group. The men whose partners had suffered miscarriage were also slightly older than the control group, with an average age of 37 compared to age 30, and were slightly more overweight. Germany's labor ministry wants to require employers to allow staff to work from home. The ministry secretary is planning an initiative compelling German companies to either allow their employees to work from home or justify why it's not possible. Digitalization is changing power relations, and it must be ensured that workers benefit from those changes. Around 40% of Germans want to work from their home office at least sometimes. A 2016 study conducted by the German Institute for Economic Research found that 39% of German employers allow their workers to work from home, up from 30% in 2012. However, workers only use the home office opportunity sporadically, with many being drawn back to the office. Many employers that did not provide workers with the opportunity to work from home cited internal communication as their rationale for requiring employees to be in the office. IT security and data protection were among some of the other concerns. Studies have also found that people who work from home tend to work longer and have more difficulties switching off after a day's work. Home office workers have also been shown to be more productive and more satisfied with their jobs.